All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us under the library. We're playing Call of Cthulhu, set in a homebrew universe, created by our keeper. And we are collaboratively creating the story in the moment. If you like what we do here and would like to support our efforts, a great way to do so is to pick up our module. It is called The Snake's Oil, is set in Season 1 of this show, and features characters and NPCs from that time. Interestingly, if you would like to hear another show performing that, Percentile Vice is doing it. They've released the first 2 episodes of that, and it's really interesting hearing people do the characters that we created. It's pretty incredible. They're doing a great job. Check it out. You can also support us on Patreon, or patreon.com/underthelibrary. Or you can find both of those things at underthelibrary.com/support. Also, don't forget to check out our other show. It's called Up Your RPG, and gives tips and tricks about how you can create more collaborative narrative in your RPGs and get a little bit away from rules. That's Up Your RPG and can be found wherever you get your podcasts. With that, let's get to it. My name's Arthur. I am playing Buddy. We are short 2 players tonight. Both Scott and Chris are under the weather, not the library. So that means I am joined by Emily as Joe, Rick as Sam, Wayne as Sister B, and as always, by our keeper. That's Michael. He's cracking up. There's shit going on with these people on video, and I have no idea what joke I missed. It's probably something I said that's stupid. Michael, you're laughing. Take it away. It's all you, man. Go.
Oh boy, it's going to be a silly night. All right. Thank you for joining us under the library, under the library.
See? Screwed it up. That's what you get for making fun of me.
Horror tabletop role-playing game set in the Call of Cthulhu universe, and as a horror tabletop role-playing game features themes such as bodily horror and blood, allusions to cannibalism, at least when Rick's on the show, allusions to stalking, animal hunting, and harvesting, and anything else is fair game. We just don't know what's going to possibly come up because we are unscripted and live. Oh, God. And so with that, if you feel like that you'll need to take a porn timeout in the next 45 minutes of this episode, you're probably in the right place. And with that, I'll pass it over to Emily for our last week's recap.
Wow, the meaning of that kind of reversed once you put it in context.
Yeah, it got even creepier.
Yeah. Okay. So last week at Richard's house, Sam and Pappy bonded over war experiences before Sam left to head back to his farm. On the road, he hits Betty Lou with his truck, so he finds out it's actually a deer. Back at the house, Joe is spending the night in Cully's old room, sees an entry appear in her journal, and then has a vision of children working in a mine, and spends the rest of the night madly scribbling, trying to recreate that image. Upstairs, Pappy retrieves a leather-bound book that was hidden, the stash with the hobo symbols from his order. There, we spend the night. There's a morning newspaper, and then hopped back to Eddy and Buddy, who spent most of the night traveling to Abiquiu, debriefed a police officer there, and then headed back to the gas station to meet Eddy's boss. And that's where we're at.
That was dramatic.
That was. All right. So as we start, who wants to get us going? Excellent. Perfect timing.
I was right there with it.
Yeah, you were. I know Sam probably wants to wait because A, he's still trying to figure out his accent, and B, he'd like his character to live as long as possible tonight.
Mother. Yeah, keep going.
All right, I'll go.
Okay. So when we left, Eddy was getting an earful from Agent Smithson's.
A tongue lashing, if you will.
Smithson.
Yes.
Who
And
came up with that name? Was that Scott?
Of course it was
who,
Scott.
who
Okay.
else would come up with that
That's
name?
true. Yeah.
All right. And it's apparent that Lana has given some sort of information implicating y'all for stalking her. And Eddy is just, you're standing there, buddy, while Agent Smithson is just browbeating Eddy. And his normal kind of snappy talk back is starting to get more and more quiet. And this is making you really uncomfortable, right? Because you've seen Eddy pretty much in this bravado kind of all the time, very like, nothing gets him down. And as they're arguing back and forth, Agent Smithson looks at Eddy and he says, "You don't understand. I'm going to have to arrest you tonight if we can't figure this out."
Yikes.
And so he and Eddy start. Eddy's immediately, though, like switches back into Eddy mode and starts firing off all the reasons that they can't do that, and y'all are doing the right thing in this investigation. And they start walking off together towards Agent Smithson's car. And at this point, buddy, you kind of catch yourself in this moment where you realize you're looking around and that there's pretty much a flurry of activity at this gas station, right? There's camera flashes going off over the body of that, very large man that y'all left a bullet in his head.
So now that he's lying down, is he taller than he was before? Didn't you say that he was wider than he was tall?
I don't think I said
Oh,
that.
I thought he was described as that. I'm sorry.
Should we go back to the description?
No, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Really? All right. Okay. Then yes, possible.
I'm sure you didn't mean it
he was-
literally, but
Yeah.
He was
Well-
5'8" and well over 300 pounds. I do remember that. He
That's
Yeah,
what I
was
was going
5'8".
to add.
Yeah. So yeah.
I guess if he spreads a lot when he lays down.
So there's that. The sun is rising at this point, and there's also a considerable amount. Remember, y'all called this in, and she warned y'all that it would go through the army base, and so at this point, there's also a flurry of personnel from the base around this gas station. And in fact, as you're looking around, there's far more army personnel than there are FBI personnel. But it is leading, there's at least, it looks like 3 or 4 agents, and there's some tension where they're meeting with higher ranking army officials on here. And you over here kind of talk about jurisdiction and stuff. And, but there's just this flurry of activity.
Okay.
Does that set the scene for you pretty well?
Yeah. So Buddy's pretty sad because he feels like he was trying to do something good by trying to help Lana. And, he really felt like he was in the right there. And now he's really just doesn't understand why she would do that or why anyone would do that. Not particularly her, but why anyone would do that. He definitely looks up to Eddy, and he's just witnessed this dressing down of Eddy, and he knows that Eddy's in trouble, so he's worried about him. So he's gonna kind of wander off, sort of in the direction of the gas station, kind of hoping to get a little lost in the crowd, in the chaos, kind of hoping that no one notices him, and head in the direction that he and Eddy were heading the night previous when they were sort of going off into the desert following the footprints. sort of assuming that that's going to lead him kind of away from all of the hubbub, with kind of, trying not to be too Charlie Brownish, but, because he doesn't want to be obvious. And since everyone else is sort of keyed up in doing their thing, somebody all hangdog is going to stand out more. But he's still feeling pretty hangdog. So,
okay. And so as you're making that movement, right, you also notice a large cargo truck pulling into the gas station, Army cargo truck, and they're starting to pull stuff out of the bay doors to the mechanic operations are opening, and there's Army personnel moving stuff out of here constantly. And you hear somebody yell, "Corporal, get your ass over here. I need some help." And it's over towards the doors that were in the ground.
Interesting. Are they clearly referring to me?
No, they're just shouting it. But I'm
going to turn and see if anyone's looking at me.
And there's a head popped up right out of the doors from below ground.
Okay.
And he's looking in your direction.
Oh, okay. Then, sir, yes, sir. And head over because, Buddy's a soldier first.
What are you doing standing around out there?
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't have specific orders.
All right, get down here, and we need to move these tanks out.
All right, sir, yes, sir.
And so...
And I'll hop down and...
Okay, so you descend the stairs, and as you descend the stairs, this is essentially the room that you and Eddy, right, had barricaded yourselves or tried to enter, and there's... It obviously branches off into several rooms from here. But at least from what you're looking at, it looks like a storage facility of some kind, and you'll immediately recognize these canisters that are being stored down there as similar to the one that you saw attached to the apparatus under the stage.
Right. Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is try to follow, I'm definitely going to follow orders first, but at the same time, I'm trying to look around as I'm doing stuff to try to gather as much information as I can and kind of use this opportunity to see if I can get any clues of any sort. Okay.
And while you're doing that, we'll cut over to the house with, I can go either direction. Joe and Sister B or Sam, who's ready to go?
Either.
Sam looks ready.
Okay, since Sam's muted, we'll go with Joe and Sister B then.
All right. Hey, Rick, actually, Rick, could I ask you some technical questions that work into your real life expertise?
Well, maybe they are, sister.
So if someone finds, I guess, dried blood.
Usually you put the polyurethane foam into the mold first, and then you want to cover it with the silicone afterwards.
Yeah, I'm happy to provide any latex or latex product insights you might have.
Fanthalay!
How to use them.
And you want to be my latex salesman. All right, go ahead.
So like in crime scenes or just in the world of blood and sample stuff, if someone finds dried blood, how easy it is to test dried blood and match it to a sample that you already have. Like say you had
well
in 1942.
My question is
1940
something. I mean, here's the thing, DNA, right? The discovery of the double helix, that wasn't until the 1950s, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're just going to go basic
Blood
but I don't
type.
know if they were doing chromosome comparisons back then, right? Because that's very simple. It's not going to tell you anything. So like blood type would be maybe very basic level.
That's what I was thinking. Like, so you can do blood type from dried blood, but what time frame was that to be able to do that? Because they knew blood types back then.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna let you know in a moment here, buddy. Yeah, they would be able to do that. That was
Remember the last time we tried to do a blood transfusion on this show?
Yeah, went
yeah, that was
really great.
1901 was blood types. It probably wasn't regularly used until probably, by then you got like the war going on. And so, yeah, they definitely knew,
Yeah.
right? We were just
Mhm.
thinking practically. So,
Just
yeah,
thinking
you'd be
in
able to do some
forensics.
basic tests, right? I mean, those are some very basic pathology tests, mixing studies, where you can see if it coagulates or not to see if you've got sort of the right blood type. So, I mean, I think you'd be able to do that just to say, like, I don't know, on a very rudimentary scale, is this at least
Mhm.
somebody within a range?
And I was going to say that, and that's the type of thing, would that have to go to a fancy lab, or is that the type of thing back then, like with forensics, a simple kit, few chemicals here and there? Like, how did they?
Mixing studies like that, my guess is that's probably more simple. I don't know if you could do it in the field, but I don't think you need to go to like a big, like national major lab site to do it, if that makes sense.
Although
Okay.
if you have a pentagram and a spoon and 6 dabs of quail wing, we can work something out.
All right.
You just have to put a little of Sister B's soul on the line for it.
I like where you're going.
All right.
What are y'all doing?
Well,
Uh,
that's
Okay, Joe, you're exhausted, but you're also wired. Like if you took no-dos all night long and came out on the other end with something, and you're just shaky and a mess, and your fingers ache, and especially your thumb. I mean, it's just like it aches more than all the other fingers, and the pain just shoots through it. But you keep wanting to like press into that. Uh, your fingers are also stained with lead dust, right? Like just kind of all up the palm, and you keep feeling this compulsion to open up the diary and look at the sketch you drew and make sure it's still there. And every time you look at it, you feel this strange queasiness, and you can hear the girl's voice.
And you said I was scribbling all night. I assumed I was scribbling sketches, like
You were. I mean, essentially,
images from the vision.
yeah, essentially, you were working on. Think of almost like an obsessively trying to get every detail of her perfect. And so there's not like a monumental amount of these, but the detail and proficiency of them is far beyond anything you've ever expected of yourself.
Okay. Well, I probably looking a little bit crazy in the eyes and bloodshot. I'm going to wander upstairs with my journal,
Yeah, you
my
are.
diary that has the picture in it, not the journal, not the magical journal. And just stand at the top of the stairs and look around and get my bearings. What do I see?
You're staring out, and first of all, make a PAL roll.
I made it.
Okay. And you just kind of hold the journal with the picture close. You want to open it, but you don't. You hold it by your side, and you look out, and you see Sister B snoozing, I would expect, right, Sister B? Is that we decided you went to sleep? Sister B's gone quiet on me.
Sister B actually
Sorry.
has gone to sleep.
Yeah.
So
We're not LARPing, Wayne. Just RPG, buddy.
sorry, I was just reading some information sent by Rick.
Okay. I just want to make sure you did sleep last night, right?
Oh, good Lord, yes. And then woke up
Okay.
just that one time. Yeah.
Okay, I'll stick with Joe for a minute then. And so, Joe, you see her off in the other room asleep. You see a bedroll on the floor in front of you that you would assume would be Pappy's, and nobody ever wiped it up. So I assumed there's spilled whiskey on the counter, like the island in the middle of the kitchen, and a couple of glasses there as well.
I'm going to walk towards Sister B, and I want to wake her up. I'll shake her or poke.
So Sister B is in contemplative mode. She's actually awake. She was lying there with head against suitcase, and so her eyes just open up, and she goes, "Yes, oh Miss Joe, I heard you are awake and moving around. I'm not sleeping now. I was just thinking big thoughts, and I need to look around the house a little bit. But how are you? I assume Joe looks crazy
Horrible.
tired." Yeah. And so then Sister B gathers herself, and I was gonna say, is it morning and there's enough light in the house, or do we have to use
It's morning. There was already
Morning.
sunrise when Pappy was reading his
right.
thing. So
That's
we
right.
must have
And when
light.
she woke up, so light, and so she could see. Says, "Oh," and she goes, "Oh my goodness!" And Sister B sits up where she was lying down and reaches out for your shoulder and says, "Miss Joe, you are in a very a state that looks like you're a very tired and maybe
We
not
have
well."
to find the children.
And
We have to help them.
the children, what children are you talking about?
You knew things you couldn't know, and I know things I couldn't know, and they're starving, and I don't know what's happening to them. They're in a cave, and they're working, and they're afraid.
Was this some vision you had when the woman who was here last night? She brought these on upon you. You had visions, or last night on your own you had these senses in a dream, perhaps?
It wasn't a dream. It was real.
And then
Here, I'll show you. This
there-
is the girl, and I'll show you the picture that I drew. And around the picture, I've written over and over the word Bloodstone.
Okay.
Joe, make a power roll.
Oh boy.
You're not going to believe this, but I rolled the same thing twice in a row. I rolled 2 21s.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
That's
All right.
weird.
And Sister B, as you look at, as Joe opens the book and shows it
Mhm.
to you, you catch that her gaze is unnaturally locked on this image.
Image of just the image itself, the drawing.
Yeah. And Sister B, it strikes you, right? Like, I mean,
okay.
this image is lifelike, right? Like
That's what I was gonna.
all
was
that this pencil image of this girl is missing is breath. Like
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
Unbelievable.
Just to be clear, I'm holding it out, but I am not relinquishing the journal. I am
Oh, no.
white knuckled.
Yeah, no, that
So
was tracked.
Sister B, you explained enough. I was going to ask to do an art psychology roll because she has good psychology to see the nature of the drawing, if it was or just a gesture drawing, or if it was so detailed that it's coming from deep within, which you just said so, and then the fact that she's grasping onto this thing, and from our experience the night before. Okay, and so Sister B goes, "Oh, my dear child, I see that these things are true. They are very true. Now, perhaps we should refresh ourselves with some water or any type of a food we can find here first this morning. Gather ourselves, and then we can move on to see what we can do to help these children. This is a very
They
important
didn't have
thing."
water, and they didn't have food. They didn't have anything.
Oh, but we can. So let me stand up, and I ask, actually, Sister B can get up, but she feigns being extremly stiff and needing help, and she asks you for a hand as she gets up. "Oh, Miss Joe, could you help me stand up out of this very low bed on floor?"
I'll close the book and clutch it against me with one arm and
Mhm.
help with the other arm.
Okay, and so she pulls herself up and she's, oh, Miss Joe, thank you. You're a very kind and very strong young person. Thank you. I'm very glad you are here. And says, so we will go to where you think you need to go, but first I need to go look around this house a bit, and I have to ask you questions. You were here. Where did my brother Richard supposedly meet his end in this house? I need to know that. I need to see it. I have not walked around the house yet to look around and inspect.
And if I show you, then we can help the children?
Absolutely. We would put it right at the top of our list of things to do today after we have refreshments and a little bit to eat.
Okay. Then I will just wordlessly turn and walk towards Richard's bedroom.
Okay, and Sister B will follow with her suitcase in tow.
I remember the lines are still on the floor marking where the bodies were.
Mhm.
So as soon as you enter those areas, and there's actually still numbers on the floor to mark the casings for the gun shells.
Okay, and so in the bedroom, Miss Joe. Now, where in the bedroom? There's a lot of dried blood. Which would be the blood of my beloved brother Richard? I need to know that. And Sister B seems a little bit she's like, oh, and if you could be kind to show me that. I need to see that now.
Well, it sprayed.
Oh, I see. And so that is over there where there seems to be much blood. That is probably what you say is Richard's blood.
So remember, he was sitting on the bed. So it's going to be, yeah.
I
okay.
remember. Yeah,
okay.
I was just thinking different character. So yeah.
Yeah, you're good. But Sister B, it's going to take a sand roll for you to kind of enter this moment.
Well, she doesn't believe it's actually Richard.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
That's why she's kind of.
Okay, then we'll wait on that. Go ahead.
Yep.
Sorry.
So
I
she
was
says,
under the bed and I couldn't see, but I could hear.
You
And
were
I think it just went everywhere.
You are under the bed when it's all happened. Oh my goodness, my dear child! And once again she reaches out and he says, "You have gone through too many things for anyone to handle it. This is terrible. We will get you out of this house very, very soon. Just let me go over here." So Sister B quickly goes over with her suitcase, opens it just so she can see into it, and reaches in and grabs some of her implements, and she takes some of the dried blood to puts it in a little case.
Okay, and then as you do that, we'll cut to the next scene. As we'll kind of cut off of you scraping up the dried blood off the mattress. Okay, Sam, that's you. You can't avoid death forever.
Oh, come on now, Keeper. You can keep your secrets to yourself.
There's that sweet southern sultry voice.
Yeah, I'm coming for you.
All right. I think it's the other way around, but okay. All right. Sam, your times aren't parallel here, and you're pulling up to the home in the wee hours of the morning. It's still dark out. The front of your car is busted and steaming, and you have this dead deer in the back of the truck hanging out. And you're bloody as well. Remember, you're kind of gashed across the bridge of the nose. You have blood streaming down on both sides of your face. It's probably stopped by now.
Unless I got some sort of bleeding condition, but if you want to lay that on me, Keeper, be my guest.
You could put some cocaine on it too. I mean, whatever you want to do.
All right. So I'll slide on out of the car, and I'll mosey my way back down to the trailer there, or the trunk, or the bed, and I'll take out that carcass, and I'll find a
hang on before you take out that carcass. Can you make a POW roll?
Oh, I really wanted to make a joke because it sounded like caucus.
My carcass.
No.
Uh,
Oh yeah, I guess that. I just meant.
I
Like,
just made it.
meeting.
Regular success.
Well,
58 out of 60.
that's not quite what you needed, but okay.
Oh no.
And so you grab the deer by the horns, ostensibly or by the antlers, ostensibly you're gonna drag it out of the truck. And you look back down and you have Betty Lou by the ears.
Well, now, how modest. Now, is she alive? Like, how is she facing away or towards me, or what? Describe this, keeper, as I'm looking down.
Well, actually, so her belly is down in the bed of the truck, and
I see how you're gonna
her
do
head
this.
is twisted backwards.
Yep.
And you're
Well.
holding her by the ears, and she says to you, "Now, why don't you want to talk to me?"
Oh my. Well, I suppose my I guess I would probably drop the head just without any care. And my guess is that would probably just hit the bed of the truck unless she's able to keep it up, which would be even creepier.
I'd like the idea that you dragged it a little bit, and so when you drop the head,
It flops.
yeah, it's kind of hanging down upside down and
Yeah.
talking up to you.
Does it unscrew when it's in free fall like that, or?
No, it's attached to the body. The neck's just broken.
I know, but I'm saying when it's hanging, does the head unscrew?
Rotate back to its normal.
Does it rotate around?
No. It's just laying there.
It's there. Okay, good. I won't belabor this. And I was sort of sputter for a second. This ain't you, Betty Lou. It's just getting too late. Oh my shit.
You seem scared of me.
Well, right now, I think I have the right of mind to be pretty darn scared of you if it's you, but I don't think it's you. I think you're a deer, and I think I've been up far too late.
And then she says, "But you didn't want to talk to me at the house. Now, why was that? You were looking for gloves because you didn't want to touch me."
Of course. See, I got an eye, and I see you touching sister, and you touching Joe, and they got a little bit of a pall upon them right afterwards. A look about them as you start talking and chitter chattering, and I don't like that. I think you got some sort of way about you. Why the hell am I even talking to you right now? You're not real. Jesus Christ, Sam, wake up!
And as you say that, make a sand roll.
19. Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. And
Dan
is that
Simpson stuff in the war. Yeah.
okay? Is that a regular success?
On my sanity?
Yeah.
Isn't sanity just a yay or nay?
No, sanity's not a yay or a nay.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Are you messing with me right now?
It's like luck. It's
not luck. It's not like luck.
But it is like luck. You don't have a hard success.
I don't have it
in
broken down.
Yeah.
There's no
It is-
scale on
yeah.
sanity.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who's the keeper here?
Neener. That's right.
Really?
Why are you protecting Rick? Art, why are you protecting
I'm
Rick?
not protecting
All right,
Rick.
keeper,
I'm protecting the sanctity of the game.
Make an
No, we ruined that a long time ago. Let's just okay.
All
right.
Keeper, go ahead and roll a intelligence roll for me right now.
I got that out with a
See how
straight
you
face,
do.
though.
Wow, does Sam really not want to get out of this alive?
We'll see what happens.
Oh my god. You better put a little more whiskey in that tea for what's coming.
Oh boy.
All right, you have this moment where you talk to yourself. Go ahead. I'll let you have the narrative for the moment.
Sam, get a hold of yourself. This ain't real. This is just like you're seeing things just like.
Why don't you
like
think
when you
I'm
got back.
real?
Yeah, you shut your mouth there. You're not real. You're talking deer. Good Lord. And I'm gonna just like close my eyes and move forward and sort of just try and grab to see like does it feel like fur? Do I hit antlers?
Oh, wonderful. You might need another sanity roll. Yeah,
You're
give
just
me one
closing
more.
your eyes and
Give me
touching.
one more. I wasn't expecting that. Give me one more. Here we go.
Oh
Come
shit!
on,
A
90s.
9. A 9.
Oh my God, for real?
Oh, for real. Oh, for real. Sam is used to all the viscera.
Oh my God. All right. Then in that moment, fine, Sam. You grab it. You grab it and you hit antlers, and in fact one of the smaller antlers, that's what kind of drives you back into the moment. The antler drills into the palm of your hand, and it creates enough pain that you realize you're holding on to antlers, and you're shaking the deer's head. You're actually banging it kind of against the back of the truck, saying it's real. It's real. It's real. Anyway, go ahead.
Damn,
and then out comes your kid.
There we go. And I'll take my service. I'll take my service knife out, little Amos, and I'll take my service knife out, and I'm just going to start like I want to get this head off. I do not need this attached. I need to just separate this so I can properly handle this body and start letting the blood drain so it doesn't taint the meat.
All right. And so we have this image of Sam in the moonlight decapitating the deer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's still a deer. Or are we in cannibalism again?
Well, with that 9, I guess I can't really.
Yeah.
All right. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll think of a different. I'll make him roll on a different table next time.
Yeah, you try that.
Wow. I'll make you roll psychoanalysis. I bet you don't have that.
I do actually, because I was in the war. No, I don't. I don't have psychoanalysis.
I was about to say.
I,
All right. So after you cut off the head of the deer, we're gonna cut over to Buddy, and Buddy, you've been hauling these tanks in and out and to the truck, right? And you're loading them up to the truck, and pretty much you're in uniform, and nobody's noticed. And every time you go back down there, you're able to assess what's down there a little bit more. There was one of the tanks that's left. Y'all probably pulled out at this point. Let's call it 5 or 6 tanks. One of them is attached to some sort of apparatus that looks vaguely similar to the one you saw underneath the stage. And beyond that, there's not a whole lot going on, except for strange kind of carvings in the walls in places. And there was some make a spot hidden roll.
Okay, I did have a question for you as I'm doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And wow, it's a 96 for my spot hidden roll. I guess we should do that first.
Bless you, buddy. God bless you. You sure you want to ask your question?
No, I don't want to ask my question yet. I want my question completely separate from this 96. I want there to be distance between these two things.
I got to tell you, this 96, like nothing's about to be the same. So if you want to do anything,
so should I have done? All right. So you had said that I was walking tanks back and forth, right? Taking tanks out.
Yeah.
I would have been doing 2 things. One, seeing if any of the tanks were heavier than any other tanks. And before I find one, I'm trying to look and see if there is some sort of a place that I could hide one of those tanks and come back for it later.
Make a stealth roll.
Okay.
We might just feed your old little 96 right into this.
See, that's why I wanted those 2 things to be separate.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, but
I don't know what my stealth is. I'm guessing it's not that good though.
No.
Stealth.
And actually,
No.
since you're in uniform, you can do it with advantage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nope. 2 fails.
Okay. All right. So what happens is you're kind of looking down they've busted open the door that you and Buddy had barricaded, right? They've taken that apart. So now you can see into under the mechanics bay from where you are as well. And there are, as I've said, there's some hallways and kind of around the main stairs that look like there's other places behind this. And you notice as you're kind of going back and forth that there's at least there were at least 2, possibly 3 different colors of sand on the ground. But those have been kicked around by less observant people moving tanks with y'all and other investigators. And so you drag this tank into the back room. It's one of the heavier ones. And you're headed into the back room. And you know, as you're carrying it, you're kicking more of this dirt. But they've hung some. They've actually activated those lights that you and Buddy ran in, or that you and Eddy ran into. There was like a wall of lights essentially that blinded y'all.
Yep.
But they found those were far too bright, so they cut those off and they've hung some of their own kind of battery-operated lanterns that have illuminated this hallway. And since you're in uniform with this tank, nobody's really noticing you. And you're walking it further and further back. And kind of unlike Buddy, he's probably about 30 feet behind the stairwell at this point, right? It just seems like a long hallway. And as he arrives at the end of the hallway, there's another carved out room, and I would assume you'd have your own light, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so you shine your light in there to put this tank in. And when you shine the light, there's an area of the wall that the light doesn't reflect off of. Does that make sense?
I mean, no, but yes.
It almost seems like when you point your light at that wall, and it's the wall directly across from you. So it should be about 10, 15 feet in front of you. As you shine your light, the light just disappears into it. It's like a void that sucks in the light. And your hairs stand up like they crawl, like your skin. We use the age old, your skin just crawls, right? Which for Buddy, he's not, he doesn't strike me as superstitious, at least, or anything like that.
No, I mean, he's a comic book reader, so
yeah,
definitely has an imagination.
And in this moment, he feels this area sucking the energy out of his flashlight into the wall. And he actually imagines the light moving in a wave form into the wall. Make a sand roll on this.
Oh boy. I made it.
Okay. And you only take 1 point of damage then, as you stand there. And there seems to be a voice on the other side of it, but it's not coherent. There's no words there, but you just feel that there's a voice there.
Okay.
And we'll cut over to Sister B collecting blood samples off the mattress.
Scrape, scrape, scrape.
Okay. And you're with Joe, who's just like a frenzy of the best, of like post caffeination is the best way to describe her. She's very jittery and looking around the room and paranoid about her journal, right? She's holding that close constantly.
Yep.
And I think it would probably, though, Joe, the paranoia would be enough to be like, you'd probably question Sister B to some degree.
And Sister B, she oriented herself so she's doing this so she could see Joe, just to keep an eye on her. And if she's agitated, says, "Oh, Joe, if this room is brings back too much for you, why don't you go wait in kitchen? I will be down in just a moment."
This is taking a long time. This is taking too long.
Oh, I have to be very careful, but I will be done in just a moment or two.
What's
And
Bloodstone?
are you asking Sister B?
Yes.
What is Bloodstone? Would Sister B know Bloodstone? Is it a place?
You know what? Which one would that be? A knowledge roll, right?
Yeah.
Make an edu roll. This is purely on your edu. Have you run across it?
Missed it by just a little bit.
Like a little bit. You want to burn some luck? Little bit.
No, I don't have that much luck.
All right. And did you miss it entirely?
Yeah, by 7.
Oh, okay. All right. Then you're going to be like, it's just odd. Maybe faintly familiar, but that's at best.
But the Sister B goes, "No, Bloodstone is place. I do not know, but
it's a place?"
Well, actually, I guess it sounded like a place when you said it.
Sure, you could run. You could run with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Miss B, Sister B would just know, and it says, yes, it sounds like a place name. But Joe, we will go to a
That's
local.
where the kids are. The kids are in Bloodstone.
Oh, this
That's
place.
where they are.
Then Joe, let me finish up. And so Sister B finishes up, and she goes, "Joe, we will go to the local library, and they will have information. They will have a local map, and we could look and find Bloodstone. We will
Can I
see."
just ask the keeper, would I know if there was an atlas or a map or anything in the house, something Cully had or something Richard had?
You don't even have to roll on this. Richard would fully have an atlas somewhere in there. What you have to roll on luck for is if it's been boxed up or not.
Okay. Yeah, I'll roll on that.
Yeah.
And Sister B, I only cut you off because if there is one, I would have already tried to just leave the room. I wouldn't be listening.
You know what, Joe? I'm going to give you this. What's better, your spot hidden or your luck?
Well, that's a good question. My spot hidden.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That is a regular success.
Perfect. Okay. You remember that one of the things that Cully showed you that was just really cool to him, because remember, Cully wanted to see the world. That was a big part for Cully.
Absolutely.
And he showed you Richard's atlas of there were two. There was a world atlas, and then there was an atlas of the United States. And Cully showed you the world atlas because he talked about wanting to travel the world. But you remember both where they were in Richard's office.
Okay. So without a word to Sister B, other than they're in Bloodstone, I'm going to turn around and head for his office.
Okay.
And then Sister B will, she's like, "Oh, Joe," and then after all these ideas, and maybe she sussed it out or not, but she finishes up what she's doing and collecting her sample.
Okay. All right. And so as Joe heads off to find the atlas and Sister B finishes collecting her sample, we will go to a break.
All right. Sounds good. We will take a short break and see everybody in 5-10 minutes. We are back from break. Michael, take it away.
All right. At least I have my voice now. Okay. So, Sam.
Yes.
Anything you need to finish here at the truck, or you want to just jump on ahead?
Well, I mean, I have a head with me, but I suppose I can leave that there and then jump on another head if you'd like me to.
All right. So a bloodied and exhausted Sam went to bed that night, and what's the wifey's name? I can't remember.
My wife? You don't remember my wife, Cheryl? And my son? You know my son, Amos?
Yeah. All right. So Cheryl, you wake up the next morning with Cheryl grabbing you and not in the good way, and saying,
Damn.
"Oh my God. Oh my God, Sam, are you all right? Are you all right?"
God damn it, Cheryl. God, stop hollering. It's far too early for that. I did not get much sleep. What's going on? Wait, what's the commotion there?
And she rears back and just slaps the absolute fuck out of you.
I'm sure I deserved it, but please portend why you went ahead and slapped me, Cheryl.
Sam,
Yes,
have you
yes.
seen yourself?
Well, I suppose I just was too plum tuckered out last night, and maybe I just slumped in a bed. I'm guessing I look pretty much a wreck.
And she just gets up and gets out of bed and heads into the kitchen.
Damn it. All right, and so I'll
And
get on out of...
you reach up and your hands are clean. You at least washed your hands, but not
Yeah.
very carefully.
Mhm.
And there's dried blood all down your like forearms. And as you reach up, you can feel the dried blood on your face from your nose, and you can feel the kind of bruising and soreness, and you're guessing that probably both of your eyes, you have two black eyes.
No, boy. And I'm going to close my eyes for a moment and just sigh, and then I'll open them and I'll look down at the sheets. How do the sheets look?
And there's blood stains here and there on the sheets, and your cheek, the side of your cheek stings now from where Cheryl let one loose on you.
Yeah, and I look at the pillow. Does it have that sort of like shroud of Turin appearance with sort of the like outline of blood on it?
Probably not too much. Most of it would have dried on your face and
Okay.
stopped bleeding in the car ride. So there's actually
that's good.
the sheets aren't too mussed up, but
Yeah. But I'm sure I'm pretty musty myself. So I'll slip out of bed, try and brush off any
and you
blood that
hurt.
might be dried.
You physically you hurt, Sam. Like bashing your face into the steering wheel. You're not a spring warrior anymore. You feel these things the next morning.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hobble my way over to the water closet and take a look at myself and see if I can just splash some water on my face and see if I can clean myself up so I don't spook little Amos. I don't need him. I don't need him getting all worked up.
Okay. And so, are you you're running water and splashing your face? I assume.
This is such a loaded question. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try and not to get, knowing what I know about weird contamination or weird stuff, I'm going to try not to get anything into my mucous membranes of my eyes and not
God, I have you that
anything.
paranoid. I'm doing a good job.
That's right.
Make a POW roll as you wash your face.
Okay, that's a 56, and mine's a 60.
Okay. And so as you look up into the mirror and you expect to see your face dripping with dried blood and water.
I know what you're going to do. You say it's Betty Lou, I swear to God.
She's there in the mirror.
Oh, my fucking Lord. Get out, demon. And I just start yelling at the mirror, and I'll just get I just sort of smear what I can on front of it. If I got shaving cream or my own, I don't know, blood. I just want to cover it up. I don't need to see this. God damn.
Wait a minute. You don't have shaving cream handy because that's not a thing in the 40s. Yeah. No, it's soap in a little dish with a little brush that takes some time. And I'm guessing by Sam's disposition, shaving was not a priority.
That's a fair point.
And so what else? What are you going to do to this mirror to get rid of Betty Lou?
Hold on. I'm thinking like a modern mirror. No, it's probably offset from the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just take a towel. That makes the most sense, and just drape it over it carefully.
okay.
I don't want to break the mirror and get even more in the shit house. But yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna just drape it.
I was trying to get him to go Martin Sheen Apocalypse Now, but it's okay. All right, so you put a towel over the mirror, you finish washing your face up, and you go in to see Amos and Cheryl. And the tension from Cheryl is palpable at this point. You've been gone. You've been gone for days. You showed up bloodied in the middle of the morning. There's so much tension there already, and you can feel it walking into the kitchen.
I got no words, Cheryl, and I'm sorry. On my way back last
How you
night,
want your eggs?
I'll take just a fried egg.
And you hear a sizzle, right, as she flips the eggs over. She already knew what you wanted. She's flipping them and frying them. And she grabs a plate. The clang of the plate as it kind of comes out of the cupboard and slams on the counter. And another brief sizzle as she pulls the eggs off. And there's just a hand with a plate of fried eggs out for you.
And I'll take it carefully, and I'll say, There's a lot of goings on in town, Cheryl. And then a deer jumped out on my way back last night.
A lot of goings-ons? What do you think about right here? What do you think's going on here?
It's a lot of trouble that I'm causing. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
What do you got for me but sorries? It's all you show up with, bloody and sorries, and I don't even know. You're not even going to show up one night. Well, you don't. You don't show up. You don't show up for nights, and then you show up and you're bloodied. And all I know is I worried less about you during the war.
You may not see it, but this town is in trouble. This country's in trouble, Cheryl. We're in trouble.
It's crazy talk.
It's not crazy talk.
Yeah,
Cheryl.
we're in trouble. This marriage is in trouble.
Fuck. And I look at Amos and I say, "Pucker up, Amos. I don't. It's gonna be okay. Why don't you head on into the living room? Your mom and I need to just talk. There's just."
And he has a little metal airplane. He like kind of flies off into the next room with.
There you go. So, Cheryl, there's something going on at the base. Joe got freaked out, and I went out to visit her. Something weird
Joe
happened.
got freaked out. What about me, Sam? What about me?
Well,
I've been freaked out for nights. I didn't even know where you were. Where were you?
I was on my way back, and
from where? I don't even know where you were.
From Abiquiu. I was visiting Joe. I told you on my way out.
Joe?
I was bringing dinner.
15-year-old girl?
Yeah, I told you, Cheryl. I was bringing some of our meat out so I could help her out and her company. I just feel bad. I'm indebted to the girl. She's been through quite a lot.
What about me? Indebted to that girl for what? What did she ever do for you?
She lost her parents and then all her friends and anything she knows in this world. She's just she's troubled. She's a troubled soul. I identify with that. And
make a persuade roll.
Oh boy. Oh no, that was almost a 0-0. Hold on. Oh,
100 would be good.
No, it was almost like a 6. I think it's now a 66. Let me see what I got. Oh god, yeah, no, I don't have persuade much at all. So no, I don't make that.
Okay. Keep going then. Keep digging.
All right. Yep, keep going. I say I was on my way back, and then there was some sort of rush in town, which raised my eyebrows because I haven't seen them since I was on the Western Front, and I'd heard about them and their escapades, and that seemed quite peculiar.
What about the pigs? What about the pigs here? What about the cows? You're going on about this stuff and these things and nothing I've ever seen. Nothing.
I was on my way back, and then
What?
The alarms went off. The
The alarms. The alarms.
Yeah, and then after they came
The
off,
alarms are going off in your home, Sam.
Yeah, I suppose the call is coming from inside the house. You're right, Cheryl. I've been absent-minded and I've been focused on bigger things and not. the
So are
things
you
in
going to
front of
be
me.
here tomorrow?
I will be here.
You're going to be here.
I will be here, Cheryl.
I'll believe that when I see it.
I'll be here, Cheryl. In fact, I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna check on the cows now. And
Oh, you're going to head out.
shit! Now I got to take a look at the truck.
All right, and then we'll cut over to Buddy shining his light into the back wall.
Whew, that was intense. I had to eat a circus peanut to calm down there. So, shining my light on the wall, seeing waves, and the light appears to be just getting sucked into that far side of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that I'm noticing? Is there a temperature change? Is there a smell? Anything in the air?
It's so as you shine your light around from there,
Yep. Do I see any footprints on the ground?
right? You start to notice there's certainly footprints on the ground, and there seems to be a set of wires running around kind of the part of the wall that dissolves in, and then those wires run to another motor that seems to be running over in the side there.
Okay. So there are footprints that go to this wire and no light beyond it and appear to continue past it.
Yeah, and did you make your spot hidden? I can't remember. You did, right?
From before?
Yeah, make a new one. Let's do
Yeah.
that with these footprints.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on.
Yeah, that's a success. I think it's a normal success. Yeah, normal
Okay.
success.
They stop a good 3 feet before this thing. The dirt's
Interesting.
undisturbed there.
Okay. Pick up a handful of dirt and toss it over there. See what happens.
Where?
Into the black hole.
Oh, it disappears.
Okay, nothing happens before it just goes right in, vanish.
Yeah.
Huh. And nothing else in this room. There's this motor, wire. That's it.
There's all these symbols painted around the around kind of the gate there, or the wall. Sorry.
Shouldn't have said that. Should not
Shouldn't
have
have
said
said
that.
Nope, that was the tequila. We're gonna retcon that and go back a few seconds. No,
Okay.
around the wire and kind of that void. There's all these symbols painted in different colors of dirt that you saw before.
Oh, do I recognize any of the symbols? Weren't there symbols in the theater somewhere?
Oh, there were. That's right. Since you, the player, actually remembered that, I'll even give Buddy a little edge on that.
Okay.
You do. They look very familiar, and to the ones in the theater. And you go back to. Actually, hang on. Keeper's got to fix the lore here for a second. They don't look familiar. I'm sorry. They don't look familiar to the ones in the theater.
Okay.
Final answer.
Okay. Interesting. But they're weird symbols, so I would kind of equate them even if it's inaccurate, right? Because I'm seeing symbols.
Yeah, you know what? You know what you could do is make an intelligence roll on this, and let's see what Buddy makes out of them.
Okay.
Sorry.
I missed it by 6. No, I'm gonna miss it. I'm not gonna use luck.
And so to Buddy, they aren't the same as the ones in the theater, but they look right. There's no distinction there, I guess I should say. They look like they could all be part of the same thing.
Right. Okay. And being that that the pipes were the same, I think that Buddy would naturally sort of equate these things as there are similar things going on in these two places. Yes. And okay, that would then and since Lana was at the at the theater, and then Lana was here, and then she switched, and sort of in his mind,
the motor makes a sputtering sound.
Okay.
And as the motor sputters, your flashlight bounces off the wall and back at you, and then it goes into the void again.
Is the motor? I want to go look at the motor. Mm-hmm. Is it like a standard motor? I'm picturing like a little generator.
Yeah.
Is it something that Buddy's familiar with? Could I find like a kill switch and just turn it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I think that's totally reasonable.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Actually, wait. Let's do this.
Okay.
Just for
sure.
shits and giggles,
yeah.
Make a mechanical repair roll.
Sure. Oh boy, this is not good, people.
Oh no!
What'd you roll for me, big guy?
How high is that number?
I'm gonna go. Make a roll, says the keeper.
I'm gonna go with 98. Was it 98?
Is it over 100?
It was. It was not 98.
Was it 99?
This is 99.
Yeah. All right. If you don't mind, buddy, I'm gonna think how good this goes for you for a minute while we switch over to Joe and Sister B. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Although, because I'm holding it, was it a 69 and it was upside down?
And I thought that once. I was wrong.
If you get your 69 and your 99 confused, buddy, there's bigger problems.
Hey, wait, we're doing this wrong.
Yeah.
Buddy's young and inexperienced, and I'm old, so
All right. Well, Art's trying to figure out his dice. We'll go to Joe and her.
Because I picked it up and I turned it, and when I turn it back, it's 60, and I'm sort of looking at where I was holding it. I think it might have been a 60.
I think we gotta go with the ruling on the ice here.
Yeah, I'm fine either way.
I think we gotta go with the ruling on the ice.
All right.
Wow. That's gonna be nasty, buddy. I'm sorry. All right, Joe and Sister B. Joe, you're looking for the Atlas. Sister B, you finished your samples.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sister B puts things back into suitcase, closes up suitcase, and then makes a look around the room just to see if there's any curious things or oddities about.
Okay.
Besides things just being packed up and
yeah, so I guess make a spot hidden. We'll see what's exciting kind of things behold, and the keeper can make up on the spot here.
All right.
Or if he has to. I'm hoping he doesn't have to.
Bloop. Oh, spot hidden. Regular success.
Regular success. I don't think there's anything new, right? That you've I'm trying to think if there's anything from the scene, and y'all can help me out here. Is there anything from the scene in season 2 when Richard's head explodes that would be pertinent for Sister B to know at this moment? That would be new information. You know what? I'll give you this, Sister B.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the corner of the room behind a cabinet, you find a chunk of matter.
Okay. Sister B just takes looks, inspects it, and sees, if it's, what she suspects it is, and she goes, oh, it would, in her sense, just make sense that someone died. Matter like that, or is it like Kelpie like matter? Like weird, strange.
It
not
looks. What were
human
you going to
matter.
say, Rick? Did you want to add something here?
Yeah, she'd also find little bits of bone that were embedded in the wooden floor from when
Well,
I was stepping.
those would be. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the crinking sound.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
forgot
yeah.
about the crunching sound.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, just wanna add some flavor.
yeah, so thank you. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So, there's a few bits of bone crushed into the floor, and then this like dried kind of it's probably no longer spongy,
Hmm.
but it's just like this little mass that was kind of connected to the wall.
Okay.
It
So
would probably, I would say, if you're collecting blood samples or residue of blood samples,
Mhm.
this would be something that would intrigue you.
Of note. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Sister B opens up suitcase and goes takes out her implements and takes second sample.
Okay.
And then closes suitcase, uh, looks about the room and is quietly just in in an objective way inspecting and looking at she's not emotional about it because to her it is not the place where anyone she knows has died. And she turns and goes out and listens, at
Make
the
us
stop.
make a sand roll, Joe, or Sister B. Sorry, Joe.
Ooh,
Foreshadowing.
yep, got it.
Okay. All right, keep going then, Sister B.
And so Sister B goes to the door and just calls out, Joe, Joe, where have you gone? And she also, Sister B, with her good listening ability, listens for rustling and such like that for someone in a quiet house. She should be easy to find. If she doesn't answer.
Joe, what do you do?
Well, I don't answer, but I had headed for the office
Okay.
to track down the atlas.
All right. And in that, it's right where you remember Cully pulling it off the shelf, except the atlas you want is the U.S. World Atlas, not the. And you start kind of furiously flipping to the index. And
One-handed, because I'm still clutching my journal.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so one-handedly clutching the journal, and then you've got the atlas open on the floor. You flip to the index, and you're just like furiously scraping through the B's until you land on Bloodstone. You turn to that page, and you find it's in South Dakota. Now, the thing is, though, when you get to the page of South Dakota, it's filled with marginalia. The city of Bloodstone has been circled, and the marginalia on the pages, most of it you cannot read. There's a lot of strange symbols and sets of symbols, and some of it says there's a few phrases that are legible to you or in, I guess, in English that say things like, it was here, I think this is it. And then again, like all of these kind of forms and symbols that you don't know, they would, by our descriptions, be arcane. But obviously this page was a lot of importance to Richard.
So if I remember correctly, there were some things written in the magical journal that were not in English. Do I recognize, is this, I mean, I wouldn't be able to read symbols, obviously, but
Intelligence roll? Ba-ding!
Yeah. I'm rolling well tonight. I don't know what my intelligence is, though. That is an extreme success.
Yeah, then absolutely you identify these as the same symbols that are in the mysterious journal.
Show off.
Okay. I am going to scoop up the atlas.
In fact, I'm going to give you a moment. Make an occult roll.
Okay.
Wow.
I will never again have a night where I roll this well. Occult. I'm gonna burn a luck and
wait. Did you miss it?
By one.
This is one you actually want to miss. Now roll a d6.
But occult is just a regular
It just trust me. I know it's odd to ask, but trust me for a moment, Joe. Roll a d6.
I don't want to trust you.
That's
a horrible thing to ask.
You really should have let her do it.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, increase your occult score by 5 points.
Okay.
All right. On that note, we'll go back to Sam. Sam,
no.
yeah. Sam, do you want to move forward from this, or do you want to stay in the moment?
If I move forward, am I divorced? Is that well, I think it makes sense just to move forward. I don't think this needs to be a major plot point, but I think it is a good tangential reference that things are askew at home.
Yeah, is that the word you want to use? Askew? Okay. Where do you want to move forward to?
A happy marriage. I know. I suppose I would have taken care of the calves, and I suppose I would have probably brought the car to the mechanic.
Okay.
And actually, is it the same mechanic at which there is a crime scene?
We could go with that. Actually, I'll take that. Is that would be your mechanic. And so as you putter, because that's what it's going to be, you actually you put barrels of water in the back of the truck. I'll give you this part to keep the radiator going on the way to the mechanic, because you had to keep stopping and putting water. And you arrive at, it looks like it's crawling with soldiers.
And I'm just sort of bewildered, and I'll sort of slowly roll up and ask the first soldier I see. I say, "Private, what's happening here? What happened to the mechanics? Is something going on?"
Sir, there's no civilians allowed here.
Where am I supposed to get my car patched up?
I'm sure there's other mechanics in town. You'll have to go into town and get your car fixed there, sir.
And I said, I served myself, Sonny. What's going on here? Anything I need to know about?
I'm sorry, sir. Unless you have current clearance, you're not allowed to be on this site.
No. All right. So something happened, huh? That's not good. Too many strange things happening around now. Don't you say there?
I'm sorry, sir.
It's all these weird things happening. You had the fire. You got all these people down left and right. My lord, now something happened here at my mechanic. You can't even go outside anymore. The dog's chasing you. Does that have to do with the dogs last night? Unbelievable.
If you hear the siren, sir, it's advised that you head inside.
Well, all right. Fair enough. Well, Private, what's your name?
I'm Private Jim Dowell, sir.
All right, Jimmy. Why don't we I guess just part ways. And I just want to make a Yui here.
And as you're sitting there, right, you see a guy just being railed out in kind of a trench coat off to the side. I mean, he's just being torn into by another guy in a suit and tie. It just leveled into. You also see men coming up from a hole in the ground outside, and they're carrying
and then a
canisters.
giant explosion.
And As a matter of fact,
Oh shit!
your timing couldn't have been better. Thank you, Art. As you're
damn it.
sitting there talking to the private, there's a huge puff of dust that rises up from the ground, and the whole earth trembles a little bit, and you hear people start screaming and running. Buddy,
Yes.
I'll have you make a constitution roll and we'll see how bad it was for you.
99. Maybe a 69.
And keep it just while this is happening. What's the private doing in front of the gate or in front of on the road?
As soon as this happens, everybody starts running towards there.
That is a success.
Okay. Can we have a drum roll, please, while the keeper rolls to die?
Do
Oh, he's wincing.
so,
He's wincing.
I mean, I could burn some luck to make it a hard success if that helps.
Well, at least it's a success. So, buddy, you start futzing with the motor, trying to get it to shut off. And there's also several containers of fuel next to this motor.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
As you're futzing with it, sparks start to erupt. There was no kind of obvious thing to shut this off, and so you started pulling wires essentially, and those wires started to create sparks, and you realized the fuel tank had a chance to catch on fire. As you realized this, you made your way, you tried to back up and get out of the doorway. You made it into the doorway and everything went black. Your ears start ringing and all you see is darkness. And that's like all you can hear. You can take 5 points of damage.
Ouch. Where's my health? Okay, there we go. Yikes.
What's that leave you with?
6.
Okay. And you...
Is that a major wound?
Yes.
Thanks, Rick.
Did I do that?
No, you didn't. Mr. 6099 did it. As you can't see anything. You're constantly get in there, help me pull out. And then you like things fade to black for you. That voice is really hard to do. You feel a lot of pain in your chest and your abdomen, and it's hard to breathe.
Excellent.
All right, Joe, Sister B.
So go to find Joe in map room. She's finding map room for looking.
Well, Joe
for...
comes barreling out of the map room, clutching now 2 books.
Oh, a big
one
big
large
book.
and one small. And
as well be a
possibly runs
librarian.
right into Sister B in the hallway.
That could happen. Sister
Like,
B was going that way.
physically.
Perhaps.
Bam.
Sandwich. Boom.
Okay, and as you do, you drop your sketching journal
Oh no.
and immediately scurry to
Immediately
grab
go.
it.
Yeah.
Make a luck roll on that.
91.
Oh, wonderful. So what you witness, Sister B, is her journal falls open to the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Sister B, when you look at it,
Mhm.
what used to be the picture is now just like a flurry of lead strokes. There's nothing discernible.
The one she drew that was so
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah. What you see, Joe, is the girl with the matted hair and the one eye, and she's calling to you, and she says, "Save me, save me," and you need to make a sand roll.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Did I use all my good rolls? No, I didn't. I made it. I got a 6.
All right. And so, Sister B, you're watching Joe just transfix. Just take 1 point of damage, then, Joe.
Mental
Sand. Yeah.
sanity damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, what you're watching, Sister B, is Joe staring at this book that's just open on the floor. And Joe, she just keeps, save me. Save me.
So if Joe is, I'm just going to ask. It might be a few different things. I know Joe might be reaching for it really fast, or if Joe is transfixed, Sister B will just, will reach out to just close the book to try to stop the transfixation, whichever seems most practical. If Joe is reaching for it, she doesn't want to impede her or stop her or anything like that. And
I
so-
am scrabbling around on the floor, but I don't know how effective it is since I'm just incredibly manic.
Yeah, and she's not grabbing for it. She's like, just basically kind of like on all fours, staring at the book, and
Oh,
just
I'm not
like,
scrabbling around.
yeah,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
You would be like laser focused on this
Okay.
image.
Then Sister B bends down and takes book and from the corner of it just closes it and puts her hand on top and then looks at Joe and says, "Joe, the book. You need to let it go. Be quiet for just a moment and gather yourself. You don't seem well."
So in the moment that it closes, does my transfixation break?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would like to just scoop it up and cradle it to my chest again. And I'll say, I found Bloodstone. I found it in Richard's book, and he was interested in Bloodstone. And it matches something that's in my book. And I think we have to go.
And then
I have to go.
And then Sister B goes, "Oh," because she's very, very curious and she's good with maps and stuff. So she says, let's open the page to page where this Bloodstone is." And so she wants to see the atlas that was Richard's. He says, my brother is Atlas. He loved the maps ever since he was small. Please let me see the page for Bloodstone.
Well, if I'm doing it one-handed again.
Okay. And so if it's okay with Joe, I know. Basically, Sister B is not coercing or forcing Joe into anything. Just being very
Yeah, I think as
Very
long
quiet.
as you're not trying to open her journal, it's fine. I don't think she's
Yeah.
going to care about.
I'm happy to show you what's in the atlas, or you can look at the atlas. I won't stop you.
okay. And
I mean, I'm cognizant of the fact that Richard was your brother, and this is Richard's. Well, I'm slowly coming around to the fact that Richard's your brother. I guess I just forgot that our meeting was so turbulent, but never mind. Go ahead.
So Sister B just opens to a page, the South Dakota with Bloodstone, and I guess would see all of the stuff in the margins as well. But Sister B probably wouldn't be able to put heads or tails together, but just would see that this is an important place for Richard and probably something in his science realm. He was researching something, within his studies there, perhaps, and that's why the margins were probably so full. Perhaps this is a very old. It says, perhaps this is a very old book that Richard was doing his scientific research at Bloodstone. He says perhaps there is something there that he found that helped him in understanding the world more. This is very interesting what it is written. I don't know what it says. Perhaps it's math. I don't know.
Everything is connected. All of these things are connected. These symbols, and I'll point to some of the non-English things, match what's in my other journal. And it belonged to a man who knew Richard. And last night in my journal, somebody wrote to me And they wrote about a man. I don't know how it all fits together, but I think we need to go. I need to
Wait.
go.
And she goes, wait, Joe, tell me, you said someone wrote to you in your journal. So you sent a journal somewhere and someone sent it back with writing in it?
I have a journal, and I shouldn't have mentioned it. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
it is okay. It seems that this journal is very, very important to you, and perhaps there are things happening that are not explained, and I've seen that myself in the last day since this woman has come to us, and I was able to see something of your world in a vision she had, and perhaps this book is
and I
is some
still
sort of
don't
extension.
understand that.
Oh, believe me, I don't understand either, but now I know that you are in a place that has as many, many waves and many, many things and storms, and you are just trying to keep afloat.
If you can agree that I don't tell you why I have the journal, I can tell you what happened with the journal last night.
Oh, of course. You have my word on that. I will keep my promise to you. I won't ask about how you got a journal, but yes, this
I
whole
think that's a very adolescent thing to ask.
yeah yeah.
Um,
We will do pinky promise, no problem. And then so book when you say a writing happened and someone else was not there with you writing in it and giving it to you.
Sometimes when I look in the journal, there's writing that wasn't there before. And last night, there was writing that appeared while I was watching it.
Okay, somebody's either Joe, you need to persuade her, or Sister B, you need to make some psychology on this.
So well, Sister B also just wants to go. If you want to mix it in, she's Joe. Show me the page where this writing happened and occurred. Let me see what it looks like and what style.
Well, we'll have to.
So Sister B has some thoughts, but is going to stick with that for now. And he says, "Oh, it is okay. I believe, Joe, we are in the same boat. And if I will trust you, perhaps you trust me a little bit. I won't ask you too many questions, but just this one. If you could show me this page. I'm very curious on how writing appears on page and what it might look like. It's fascinating. There are things in miracles that have happened ages ago. I have learned when I was small that these things can happen. Miracles do happen in places. Perhaps this was a small miracle."
Okay, and as Sister B tries to persuade Joe on that, we're going to cut over to Sam's perspective. We're going to kind of leave that as a little cliffhanger of whether Joe shows that. And what you've seen, Sam, is this dramatic kind of puff of sand up in the air. And there seems to be a purple tinge to it as it goes up in the air.
Oh, shit.
And people are running around like mad now, right? Like there's been a collapse. We need help over here. You hear people screaming, and the purple tinge isn't going to resonate much to you, right? I don't think there's anything there to kind of trigger you, but
Oh yeah, no, there is. I've been hit with mustard gas.
Okay,
It's from-
then we'll retcon a little. Let's retcon for a second, and I'll make you make a spot hidden. Then let's see how much of this you see.
Oh, I mean, I gave myself just like I guess a sanity roll or something. I got a 95. So I was giving you that. You're welcome.
Fantastic. So right on the cusp, you just stand on the line and look over it, but you don't want to get into. You don't want to jump in there with Buddy. Okay, so you see sand, and we won't talk about the purple then for now. You see sand, and you see a ton of commotion. right? Like kind of pounding up in the air.
Jesus.
There's a huge.
If I don't,
explosion.
all right, if I don't see the purple, which, boy, all right, now you sort of let the fucking lead there, huh? His reflex is he has got first aid training. He would run in or try to head in. I mean, he's not going to run because he's still probably pretty beaten up. Yeah, don't do this. And keeping his wits about him, seeing that it's a big explosion. And make his way in and seeing if he can help anybody. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you jump out of the truck and you're making your way. You're running towards this collapse, and out of the corner of your eye are some coded figures, those suited figures who weren't in the military. They're running over as well. And
towards the scene, right? Not away.
Right. Like everybody's kind of converging, but right, those guys that you saw getting, essentially it's Eddy getting chewed out by his boss.
Yep.
But like right, they're making their way towards, and you're running towards the dust, which is billowing up in the air, and you hear a voice in your ear, and she says, "Don't you want to listen to me now?"
Oh God. Damn.
And then we'll end the episode.
Right.
That was some good stuff. What is going to happen to poor Buddy? We'll find out next time. Until next time, you can join us on underthelibrary.com. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm there at Tall and Nerdy, and Michael's there at Under the LIB. And don't forget, check out our other show, Up Your RPG, wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, for me,
Make it bold.
For me, for Michael, for Rick, for Emily, for Wayne, and for the absent Scott and Chris, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.